the top story of the hour, and it's an NDTV Profit exclusive. Let's zoom in on that. Market regulator SEBI, in fact, is intensifying its crackdown on stock manipulation and tips being offered by unregistered influencers via WhatsApp and Telegram channels. We have Charu joining in with that update in terms of the key details.
Hi, so the Market Regulator Securities and Exchange Board of India is currently in the process of curbing a lot of, unsolicited and unregistered advice by a lot of flukes, a lot of people who call themselves influencers. While the regulations around this are already in place, SEBI is currently investigating several such issues and is also on its way to come out with final orders in about 3 to 4 cases. And the regulator basically is concerned about the volume of such cases because there are a lot of investors who get lured into these channels on the pretext of high returns and a lot of people who lures these investors. So it's a pretty large network that the regulator is actively trying to curb and has already brought out regulations and provisions and is working towards investor awareness as well. But this remains to be an issue. So let's see what exactly happens and how it plays out.
Well, absolutely. Let's try and get a little bit more context when it comes to this particular story. We have Pooja Patel, who's a certified financial planner, joining us on the show. And along with her, we also have Madhavan Srivatsan, who's a senior partner at Emerald Law Offices, also joining us. So very good afternoon to the both of you. In fact, the first question that I wanted to take was to you, Mr. Srivatsan. I wanted to understand what are the legal remedies, sir, when it comes to an investor, what are the legal remedies that they have if they have been duped in such issues? What do you make of this as well?
Okay. See, actually, this issue, which has been recently highlighted in all across the media, from a legal point of view, this issue has always been there. Like right from inception, when SEBI Act came and all the regulations for the last 10 years, 12 years, SEBI has always tried and regulated the market, who tried to disrupt the market by unpublished information and all of this. Now, recently, the SEBI has made certain amendments. So any investor who feels that he or she has been cheated or duped, they can immediately file an online complaint with SEBI portal. And SEBI is definitely going to look into it. And even suo moto, SEBI has been taking a lot of actions. SEBI has also circulated certain consultation papers, and SEBI has also come out with a public guidance. I mean, that's something which is a very positive step, that informing the public of being aware of this so-called finfluencers who give unsolicited advice, because as per law, any person who is registered with SEBI, only that person is authorized and allowed to give advices on with respect to securities and stocks. So any person who feels duped can definitely file a complaint with SEBI, and SEBI will look into this.
Well, absolutely. So that's what is in terms of that's what we're broadly expecting in terms of SEBI also cracking down on these influencers. But I also wanted to understand what this really means. Being an advisor yourself, what do you think, Pooja, is your opinion when it comes to this? What do you think is the true responsibility of an advisor as well? Because there's a lot that is, that the advisor should be doing, and that's clear from this particular crackdown.
Yes, of course. Being an advisor point of view, it's like it's hard to deliver that kind of advice also, and I would say it's hard for the audience also to find the right advisor and the right, I would say, influencer, if I talk about, because there are many misleading activities going around. If we specifically talk about the unregistered influencers who are randomly sharing stock tips or stock recommendations without any unregulatory regulatory body or anything. At times, they are misleading investors, and not only they are misleading the investors, but they are actually, harming public trust and the integrity of a market. So I think they should have more accountability and transparency in place. And I believe SEBI's action is like both timely and necessary at this given point of time, like with the growing influence of social media platforms like Telegram and YouTube is really shaping how the retail investor looks at this particular things. And however, while we are, regulating the space, of course, that is an important aspect, but it's also, equally essential to create frameworks that, don't stifle genuine education and awareness efforts. Like many creators, are adding value through simplified financial content. They are breaking down the financial jargons for normal public to, manage their money better, probably. But I guess this is the biggest challenge, to differentiate between those who genuinely wants to educate people and those who are just manipulating via any recommendations or providing trading tips or something like that.
Yeah, so I would like to ask you, you just outlined what are the, core responsibilities or the true responsibilities for an advisor and what they are adding to the system, the value they add. But do you not feel that, this could also hamper the kind of future any financial influencer or financial content creator might have? And it could also hamper the amount of trust that investors or the audience in general might have on people who are on social media and giving advice?
I believe if the SEBI is taking this action, this would be a positive step towards both the parties, even if we talk about specifically advisors and even if we talk about audiences, because they will get genuine advices from genuine advisors probably. And here we are also talking about their hard-earned money. When we talk specifically about finance influencers or advisors, we have to check on both the levels. Like we have to check on the advisor front, we have to check on the retail investor fronts also. So we have to check both the aspect. And when I talk about this particular step which SEBI is going to take, for that I would say that it's like more kind of a trustworthy digital investment ecosystem they are building, where investors can easily access information that is both credible and compliant. So it's benefit for it's a benefit for both of the parties.
So, Pooja, just one more thing I would like to ask you, because you have been involved in this space for so long. To the investors watching you, what are the particular cues or the easier to understand red alerts or red flags that a person should look at and understand, okay, this might be something that is not correct? The cues.
Okay, basically, if I talk about the cues, first thing is the investor should look out whether the particular person is not giving you any direct tips. Like let's say they are giving you to buy XYZ shares or XYZ mutual funds, or they are straight away without any research or without any regulatory body or without any certification, they are telling you that you go ahead and buy this or buy that. So that is if they are giving you any pure recommendation for any particular stock or any particular mutual funds, that is, I would say, a biggest red flag that an investor should think of. Because from an investor perspective point of view, each and every investor have different goals, different time frame of investment. So that cannot be generalized for all. So if anybody is recommending you straight away the names of stocks or mutual funds, that's the biggest red flag.
So, Mr. Srivatsan, my next question would be for you. So, being a lawyer, you already are aware that there are regulations in place, there are circulars in place. But do you think that there can be more done on the implementation front?
Absolutely. I mean, so SEBI is absolutely doing a lot, but there is a lot which can be done. Now, what we have to say in a crux, who are these kind of people? Who are these influencers? Broadly, you can categorize them into three buckets from a very broad point of view. First is that they can be people who are backed by the actual promoters of listed entities who try to manipulate the stock prices of their own company, right? That can be the first category. The second category can be these influencers are backed by certain SEBI registered intermediaries, which are either a stockbroker or investment advisors who want to play on the market. They can be those people. The third category of influencers, which I think, in my view, Pooja can correct it, is that, which is the majority part, is that just for the return of money or return of fee, they start giving advices, even though they are not registered with SEBI. But for some reason, they feel that they have got enough information and knowledge to pass on certain tips and marketing and investment advices. They may not be targeting a specific company, but at the end of the day, the consequence is that they are disrupting the market. They are creating a fake price. Now, I feel that SEBI should try and crack down more on this third category of so-called influencers who have come up. And anyway, they have come out with a consultation paper on the digital platform. So it is, as of now, as per the consultation paper, it is optional for any of the social media platforms like a Facebook or a Twitter or an Insta or whatever you name it, to categorize them as a specified digital platform. If they want to categorize them as specified digital platform, they have to take care of certain IT issues They have to take care of certain preventive and curative measures. If they're able to qualify in those criteria, then SEBI will allow these so-called influencers or SEBI-registered intermediaries to directly interact with the users on this platform. But if these platforms, whether it is Facebook or Twitter or anyone, if they don't categorize themselves as an SPD, as a specified digital platform, then anyone who goes and gives advice there will have to be taken down. So I feel that SEBI is already doing a lot, but what more can be done is directly taking heads on these so-called influencers who have come up suddenly in the last 5 years. Maybe because after COVID, people have got easy access from social media. So this is the area where SEBI needs to plug a lot.
Madhavan, just quickly, some very important points here that I wanted to follow up on. Firstly, what are the repercussions for people who engage in such activities, and what happens to the illegal gains made through the investors by fooling them on the pretext of high returns? These two things.
See, as per the SEBI Act and as per various regulations, there is definitely an imprisonment. There is definitely a cancellation and debarment of licenses of these so-called intermediaries. So first of all, let's spend just half a minute on understanding what exactly the regulations have. What is the SEBI regulation which came in August 2024? So right now, the regulations which have come right now are not so much directly on the influencers. What SEBI has said is that any intermediary which is registered with SEBI, whether it is an investment advisor, whether it is a stockbroker, whether it is a merchant banker, they are not supposed to associate themselves directly or indirectly with any person who is not registered with SEBI with the purpose of giving any information, any investment advice. So these regulations are applicable on SEBI related intermediaries. Now, tomorrow, if there is a violation, SEBI can cancel their licenses. Imprisonment is there. SEBI can also impose a very heavy fine. And to some extent, investors who have been duped and lost their money, SEBI also has certain powers to return their money.
One thing, Madhavan, just while you really explain to us what the repercussions are, can you just make it a little easier for the viewers to understand how can they get their money back? Is there any provision for them to, sort of work out an arrangement to get their own, assets back in any way?
Okay, so anyone who has been duped, they should immediately log on to SEBI website. They have a very clear, very simplistic form of investor portal. They should immediately log in there, file their grievances. SEBI has a very strong redressal grievance mechanism. File your complaint there. And yes, it may take a little amount of time because SEBI will have to really crack down on who exactly was the person who duped. But the first step should be, like in any case of a criminal case, wherever it happens, please immediately report it to SEBI. Thereafter, you may follow it with your local police station, police jurisdiction. You may go for a cyber fraud and all of that, which is okay. But immediately first, because the ultimate authority and the most important authority in this kind of a fraud is SEBI. So immediately register a complaint with SEBI, and it may take a certain amount of time, but your money will come back to you.
All right, and so all is not lost. Your money might come back to you, and that's very important commentary coming in terms of the crackdown, detailed perspective, in fact, from Pooja Patel as well as Madhavan Srivatsan. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining.